Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Bashem, Yahushua, Bashem, Karkadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, great men, standing Christians, word, chiefly and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the group, preaching the globe, chiefly and sincerely. That be like unto the speckled bird, preaching the word. And I say shalom to you, Akim, out there. And this is a news article for in the news of November 27, 2022. 3:32 p.m. Central Standard Time on this Sunday afternoon. And this is from the Jerusalem Post. This was yesterday at 5:21 by TZVIJOFFRE was published by him from the Jerusalem Post. And the highlight of this news article, and it reads for November 27, 2022. It says Syrian air deployed increase. Syria and Iran deploy increased air defense near Damascus, reports. It says Syria and Iran have been deploying new air defense systems, including jamming and early warning systems around Damascus, in order to prevent Israeli aggressions in the area, according to the Syrian capital voice site. Right, because you've been having an increasing, ongoing proxy war of a clash between, the IDF, which is the Israeli Defense Force, launching airstrikes over there in Syria, near Damascus, in the southern part of Syria, which is an Iranian-backed facility. So now you got this news just came out from yesterday, reported from the Jerusalem Post. You have Syria and Iran increasingly, their air defense to prevent the Israeli aggression, which they've been nonstop, continuously been doing, launching like crazy airstrikes on a consistent basis, on and off. That's what you call like a proxy war and a commotional war in the book of Luke 21:9. And that's what we've been seeing, And this is the book of, I'm going to bring out a scripture as well, too. This is the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 9. But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by. Right, because we've been seeing an increase of the commotions of wars, rumors of wars, and proxy wars between the nations and different kingdoms as well, too. And that's what we're seeing. And I'm going to bring out the wars and rumors of wars in Mark 13:7. And then you got the operation, the Turks versus the Kurds in that region of East Iraq and Syria as well, too. So it's a lot of activity of what's war and nations against nations going against each other in that region in the Middle East. This is the book of Mark, chapter 13, verse 7. And when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled, for such things must need be, but the end shall not be yet. And this is the book of Mark, chapter 13, verse 8. Here's the point. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be earthquakes in diverse places, and there shall be famines, and troubles. These are the beginning of sorrows, right? Because you're going to have the increase of the nations rising up against nations and kingdom against kingdoms. And that's what we're seeing, As they mentioned, Syria and Iran, they're going to increase their new defense against the Israeli Defense Force, constantly non-stopping launching airstrikes in the Iranian-backed facility. Because you already know Iran and Israel can't stand one another. So, So that's why they teaming up with Syria to upgrade and step up their military air defense presence to intercept missiles that crosses the border of Syria from Israel, from the Israeli Defense Force, you know. So that shows you the increase of rumors of wars and nations against nations. And it's just a continuing step further of its heating up in the Middle East. And it's going to continue to heat up even more now so than ever. And then this is another recent article came out as well too. And this is from the Jerusalem Post. Another rumor of war between the nations and different kingdoms as well too. And this is from the Jerusalem Post. Salaki for the advertisements. And this is a news article from the Jerusalem Post, published November 27, 2022. And it says, we are on the brink of civil war between Jews and Arabs, warns Acre mayor. It says the conference post proposed on NIX 110 billion plan to fight crime and restore governance in the preparatory, if I pronounced that right. The state of Israel is on a brink of civil war between the Jews and Arabs, warned by Acre mayor Shema Laki during a emergency conference of the Forum for Security Governances and Settle on Sunday. Right, because you had the recent incident happen over there. I don't know what part of Israel it was at. I believe it was a bombing that killed like one person and injured like 20-something people. And then I believe the second person had died due to their injuries of the explosion happened over there about a few days ago, close to a week ago, over there in Israel, in that region over there. And it says, a moment before we fall into a civil war, and I say this really, I was witnessing to all the events of the May 2021 Operation Guidance of the walls. The endpoint of the events of May will be the open mark for the coming events, he said. Whoever hasn't understood it yet, we are on the brink of civil war in the state of Israel, and not hardened against secure Jews, but rather Arabs against Jews. This is the civil war. This will happen to us soon. So yeah, that's a rumor of war right there, you know. So that's why you're seeing these rumors of wars heating up. These stories increasing on a consistent basis, because you're gonna have, like the scripture says in the book of Matthew 24:6 through verse 7, you're gonna hear these increasing wars and rumors of wars in the latter days, and that's what we're seeing, and it's increasing. You know, a lot of times it just be a rumor of war. Then you're gonna have times where these rumor of wars are actually becoming a reality. And that's what we are seeing as well too. On an everyday basis, it's starting to increase between the hostility between the different nations and different kingdoms, and that's what we're seeing, especially in the Middle East. You know, even though we're seeing it different places around the world as well too, with the Russia-Ukraine situation, then Palestine versus Israel, and then you got right here a mayor warned that a potential increase war between the Jews and Arabs, and that's what we're seeing, you know. So it's going to increase more and more and more. Rumors of wars going to heat up, commotions of wars, proxy wars, rumors of wars between the different nations and kingdoms is just a step to it's being heating up now, so more than ever, you know. And so with that, I hope this sit down lesson was edifying with the two news articles that I just brought out from the Jerusalem Post. So with that, I would like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem Akarkadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, preaching this word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, that be like unto the speckled bird, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely as well too. And until next time, I will say shalom and a ball.